All right, welcome back. There were smiles, there were laughter, there were handshakes during this meeting between the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the US President Donald Trump. Donald Trump has promised that there is going to be lasting peace. There were no meltdowns this time, only niceties. In fact, Donald Trump, he welcomed Mr. Zelensky to the White House and he says that he's hoping for lasting peace immediately. Trump says that Ukraine will see peace very soon and that he will work with Russia as well as Ukraine in order to achieve peace in this particular conflict. Meanwhile, Volodymyr Zelensky, he also appreciated the United States' help in what he says, ending the war. And Donald Trump, he also, in fact, went on to say that Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, he wants to see the end of the war as well. The Ukraine war must have settled long back. Listen in to some of the reactions first.
Thank you, President Trump. So, President Zelensky, you say in a post on X today, Russia must end this war, which it itself started. President Trump, you say President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to. Which is it?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think we're going to have a meeting. I think if everything works out well today, we'll have a trilat. And I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
All right, let me go back to Priyanka Deo. Priyanka, you know, from February and that Oval fiasco to now, to this bonhomie, to this camaraderie, President Zelensky even getting complimented for wearing that suit. What did you make of that interaction?
Thank you. Well, let's keep it clear. I mean, it's optics to an extent, but Zelensky was furious just a few days ago. Furious that talks with Moscow happened without him in the room. Furious that Trump managed to shift the global spotlight, as did Putin, right? And furious that Ukraine suddenly looked like, I would say, a junior partner in its own war. Now, the only reason that the U.S. is aiding Ukraine is because Trump wants to check Putin and he really wants to end the war. He's made that clear, right? Zelensky has also lashed out publicly and demanded stronger Western backing against Russia. But at this point, his anger proves Trump's point that Washington decides how far negotiations go. If you notice, Putin met Trump in Alaska in the United States, and Zelensky has met Trump in, not in Alaska, sorry, in the Oval Office, both in the United States. So Washington is definitely still very much dictating the pace of this negotiation, right? And that's why Zelensky is being nice and polite right now, because Trump is going to aid him. So of course he's going to be nice and say thank you, right? But Zelensky's track record has not helped him. And this is where it gets tricky, because all of the people that are aiding him are going to be in the same room, right? All of the people aiding him are in Washington, D.C. right now. So he has to be nice. He doesn't have another choice. But at the same time, he's proved very, very hypocritical. I mean, let's not forget, while his people were suffering under bombs, while his country was at war, this guy posed for a Vogue photo shoot with his wife, right? He has very slipping popularity at home because there is no strategy. He's not giving his people a pathway out of this war, and they are losing their lives, right? I think a speaker before had said that Ukraine doesn't have men to enlist in their army anymore, right? So it has to end. So his track record also raises questions about whether he genuinely prioritizes the well-being of his own people, or he's just trying to stay in the spotlight over here. So I think a trilat would be very beneficial. As Trump said, if a trilat happens, I do think that what we can expect here is a balancing act. I mean, Trump can actually project dominance over Zelensky, right? He said, come to the US, Zelensky was on the next flight, right? So I think Putin, meanwhile, will play along just enough to kind of advance Russia's strategic goals while testing how far Trump is willing to bend. Trump has learned, especially from India, that he cannot bulldoze over top 5 countries. Russia is another top 5 country. So Trump has learned the hard way that he just can't slap sanctions on India. He just can't slap high sanctions on high tariffs on Russia either. So he's going to play it as a negotiator. Maybe he will change his strategic goals. But I do think that you can expect fiery optics if there is a trilat, plenty of posturing, perhaps some symbolic deals here and there. But the hard reality here is that with Russia, Trump kind of faces a peer who knows how to play the long game. Let's not forget, Putin has been in power for 24 years now.
Yeah.
So I think that Trump has to be very, very tricky, very, very strategic. I'm sorry. He does need to be a good negotiator and make sure that the U.S. gets what it wants out of this, while at the same time exiting its stance in the war. I don't think we in the U.S. want to fund Ukraine any more than we already have. As somebody stated in the Oval Office, one of the officials stated, U.S. has already given hundreds of billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine.
Yeah, Priyanka, before we talk about the entire issue of redrawing the map, whether it is going to happen or not, let's also listen in to what Volodymyr Zelensky had said.
President Zelensky, are you prepared to keep sending Ukrainian troops to their deaths for another couple years, or are you going to agree to redraw the maps?
Thank you for your question. So, first of all, we live under each day attacks. That today have been a lot of attacks and a lot of wounded people, and the child was dead, small one year and a half. So we need to stop this war, to stop Russia, and we need support American and European partners. And we will do our best for this. So, I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war. And we are ready for trilateral, as President said. This is a good signal about trilateral. I think this is very good. Thank you.
And shifting our focus to our other big story that we are tracking, the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. He's in India for 3 days, and this is ahead of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to China, which is going to take place later this month. In fact, this is his first in 7 years, and now India and China relationship is a complex one. The ties are still recovering from the Galwan clashes, which actually hit trade people to people and all other aspects. There has been progress, but now it has been expedited by Trump's tariffs. Prime Minister Modi, remember, will visit later this month, and it is meant to send out a message to the Trump administration as well.
Having seen a difficult period in our relationship, Excellency, our two nations now seek to move ahead. This requires a candid and constructive approach from both sides. In that endeavor, we must be guided by the three mutuals: mutual respect, mutual sensitivity, and mutual interest. Differences must not become disputes, nor competition, conflict. Excellency, when the world's two largest nations meet, it is natural that the international situation will be discussed. We seek a fair, balanced, and multipolar world order, including a multipolar Asia. Reform multilateralism is also the call of the day. In the current environment, there is clearly the imperative of maintaining and enhancing stability in the global economy as well.
Exchanges and dialogue at all levels. We maintained peace and tranquility in the border areas and resumed the Indian pilgrimage to the Mount Garampochi and Lake Mapayonzo in the Xizang Autonomous Region. We should firm up confidence to dispel interference, expand cooperation, and to further consolidate the momentum of improvement and development of China-India relations, so that while pursuing our respective rejuvenation, we can contribute to each other's success and provide the most needed certainty and stability to Asia and the world.
Once locked in a tense standoff, Asia's two superpowers, India and China, are now cautiously inching towards a diplomatic reset. The signs are subtle but telling, from reviving direct flights, resuming tourist visas for Chinese nationals, as well as a recent uptick in high-level bilateral visits. And now, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi has arrived in New Delhi for border talks with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. This will be only the second such engagement since the deadly Galwan clash in 2020, which sent relations into a deep freeze. External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar has met with and held bilateral talks with his Chinese counterpart. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also set to meet with Wang Yi, signaling a broader push to stabilize ties. Wang Yi's trip sets the stage for a more significant diplomatic reset. Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to visit China to attend the SCO summit later this month, his first visit to China in 7 years. The engagements follow a thaw in October when both sides agreed on patrolling arrangements to de-escalate tensions along the line of actual control, helping ease a 5-year military standoff. The move opened the door to re-establishing bilateral ties that hurt trade, investment, and air travel. As India and China edge back to the negotiating table, all eyes are on just how far this fragile reset can go in easing tensions and paving the way for long-standing stability. The recovery and reset comes amidst punitive tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, leading to broader global realignments. Samia Afsar, NDTV World.
The vice president election has just gotten interesting. The NDA has nominated C.P. Radhakrishnan, a seasoned politician from Tamil Nadu with strong RSS ties, as their candidate. However, the opposition, the India bloc, is yet to decide on their nominee. The DMK has expressed reservations about supporting C.P. Radhakrishnan due to his RSS background. Meanwhile, the opposition is now considering fielding a candidate from south of India, with DMK MP Tiruchi Siva being a potential option.
C.P. Radhakrishnan versus who? That's the big question. It was a day of hectic huddles in the national capital. A day after the BJP parliamentary meet named C.P. Radhakrishnan as its vice president candidate, Radhakrishnan met Prime Minister Modi in Delhi. The NDA has the numbers, but it's looking to build consensus. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has reached out to Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, YSRCP Chief Jagan Mohan Reddy, BJD's Naveen Patnaik, and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. The choice of C.P. Radhakrishnan has shaken up Tamil Nadu politics. With state elections ahead, the vice president's race has become a fight for Tamil pride.
They are doing it only because in the next 8 months, Tamil Nadu is going to face election. So they want to take advantage and tell the people that we have fielded one Tamil for the post of vice president. But whatever they have done to Tamil Nadu is still lingering in the minds of the people. They are not giving money to the state of Tamil Nadu for education, stating that only if you follow our system, we will not give money. Fielding one Tamilian so that they can cover everything is, I don't know what kind of an idea it is.
The India bloc too is in a huddle, but consensus is still elusive. The DMK wants a Tamil face. Congress is on board, but Mamata Banerjee's TMC wants a non-political face. The last time too, Trinamool stayed away, tilting numbers in favour of the NDA. With NDA clearly in pole position and opposition still divided, the big question remains, who will take on C.P. Radhakrishnan in the vice presidential election? NDTV Bureau Report.
Well, the Election Commission on Sunday responded to the continuous barrage of press conferences by the opposition, putting a big question mark not just on the Election Commission but the whole exercise of free and fair elections. But neither has it satisfied the opposition, nor has it stopped the political war of words between the BJP and the opposition.
कल जो प्रेस वार्तालाप हमने देखा चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर का, उन्होंने कल अपने प्रेस वार्तालाप में राजनीतिक दलों पर सवाल उठाया और एक प्रकार से राजनीतिक दलों पर आक्रमण किया, जबकि बेहतर ये होता कि वे ये बताते कि ये एसआईआर प्रोसेस इतनी हड़बड़ी में, इतनी जल्दबाजी में क्यों कर रहे हैं। और इसीलिए साफ साफ जाहिर होता है कि अब चुनाव आयोग ऐसे कुछ अफसरों के कमान में है जो निष्पक्ष नहीं, साफ साफ एक पक्ष लेते हैं।
कल इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया ने, चुनाव आयोग ने एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस किया, तमाम आयोग के सदस्य बैठे थे और मैं कहूंगा कि पॉइंट बाय पॉइंट टेक्निकल रिबटल उन्होंने दिया है। बिहार में 20 वर्ष पहले एसआईआर इंटेंसिव रिवीजन हुआ था, 20 वर्ष के बाद 2003 के बाद पुनः हो रहा है। जिन लोगों के मन में प्रश्न था कि अभी क्यों हो रहा है चुनाव से कुछ महीनों पहले, तो उसका भी जवाब दिया गया कि 20 साल पहले जो हुआ था उस समय का कालखंड भी चुनाव का कालखंड ही था, उस समय ही हुआ था, उस समय किसी की आपत्ति नहीं थी। ये सारे टेक्निकल विषय पे इलेक्शन कमीशन ने विस्तार से जवाब दिया, मगर जो ना समझे उसको समझाया नहीं जा सकता है।
चुनाव आयोग क्या करता है, यह नहीं कहता कि विपक्ष के नेता ने आरोप उठाया है, चलो चेक करते हैं, आप एफिडेविट दो और उसके बाद कहते हैं कि ये पहले कंप्लेंट क्यों नहीं की। जिम्मेदार वो है, जिम्मेदारी उनकी है, चोरी उनकी पकड़ी गई और मुझे कहते हैं आप एफिडेविट लाओ। पूरा देश आपसे एफिडेविट मांगने का काम करेगा, थोड़ा सा समय दे दो। हर स्टेट में, हर विधानसभा में, हर लोकसभा में हम आपकी चोरी पकड़ के देश को दिखाने जा रहे हैं।
Welcome back. A fierce face-off in the Karnataka Assembly over the probe into allegations of mass burials and murders at the temple town of Dharmasthala. The opposition, BJP, demanded updates from the state government on the probe by the special investigation team, which was appointed to probe extremely serious allegations of several murders and subsequent burials of bodies at different places in the town made by a former sanitation worker. Now, several spots pointed out by the worker have been dug up in search for human remains, but so far it is not clear if the SIT have found any concrete evidence. Now, sections of the BJP, including the party's state president and even the deputy chief minister, D.K. Shivkumar, they have claimed of a conspiracy to tarnish the image of the Dharmasthala Temple Trust.
ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದ ನಾಯಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಸದಸ್ಯರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಮನವಿ ಮಾಡೋದು, ನೀವು ಸಹಕರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಯಾರನ್ನು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಯಾರನ್ನು ದೂಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮಗೆ ಅದರ ಅಗತ್ಯನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಇವತ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಇಡೀ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾನ್ಯ ವೀರೇಂದ್ರ ಹೆಗಡೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪದ್ಮಭೂಷಣವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ, ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ. ಅಂಥವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಹೀಗೆ ಗೂಬೆ ಕುಂಟಿಸೋದು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ಸತ್ಯ ಆಚೆ ಬರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಸಹಕರಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಮಾನ್ಯ ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ವಿನಂತಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾವು ಏನನ್ನು ಮುಚ್ಚಿಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಡೈಲಿ ಗೃಹ ಸಚಿವರಿಗೆ, ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗೆ 1000 ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಬರ್ತತೆ. ನನ್ನ ಮಗನ್ನ ಹೊಡೆದಾಕಿದ್ರು, ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, 1000 ಬರ್ತೈತೆ. ಹಂಗಾರೆ 1000ಕ್ಕೂ SIT ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? ಇವತ್ತು ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಥಳದ ಮಾನ ಹರಾಜ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಕಟ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕಟ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಹೇಳಿ? ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಥಳದ ಮಾನ ಹರಾಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಕಟ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು ಸರ್ಕಾರ? ಇದರಿಂದ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ನಮಗೆ ಇವನೆಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರೋ ಇವನು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಇವನೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಇರುವಂತ ಕುತಂತ್ರ ಯಾವುದು? ಇದರಿಂದ ಇರೋ ಕುತಂತ್ರ ಯಾವುದು? ಇದರಿಂದ ಇರೋ ಗ್ಯಾಂಗ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಅದು ಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ. ಷಡ್ಯಂತ್ರ. ಈಗ DK ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ,
Well, the Karnataka Home Minister, of course, today giving a formal reply in the Karnataka Assembly as far as the status of the investigation into the alleged mass burials at Dharmasthala is concerned. One of the key aspects here that he has said is that this is a very primary nascent stage as far as investigation is concerned, because it was initially the statement that was recorded of this complainant and the exhumations that were carried out, but the FSL report is something that they await. Now, he says that from about 2 spots skeletal remains were recovered, and from other spots they've also collected soil samples, because they thought there the soil was very acidic, which could have led to the entire process of decomposition going on much faster, and that's why they have even taken soil samples from these locations, sent it to the labs, and only after a report comes out can the investigation proceed any further, or can they even decide as to what to do next. Until then, of course, they do not want to go ahead exhuming everywhere in Dharmasthala, is what the Home Minister himself has said, and more importantly, he's asked for the opposition parties here to cooperate with them. He's saying that the purpose of the SIT in the state government here is to only come out with the truth, not tarnish anyone's image or target anyone. And he's saying at this point in time that the opposition should not politicize this matter and just allow for a free and fair probe to be conducted in the case.
And in a big infrastructure push for the people of Delhi and the National Capital Region, the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, he flagged off 2 new expressways. But the big question remains, is this, will there be smooth rides ahead or just more traffic jams?
For those living in the National Capital Region, you would know that commuting in and out of Delhi from places like Gurgaon is a nightmare at the best of times, particularly during rush hour traffic. Yesterday, the Prime Minister inaugurated 2 key stretches of road. One is the Dwarka Expressway going up to Gurgaon, and another one is called UER, or the Urban Extension Road 2, which links 3 major highways to the northwest of Delhi, to areas such as Indira Gandhi International Airport, and it also links up to the Dwarka Expressway. Now, to be certain, the Dwarka Expressway had been opened up to traffic on a trial basis earlier on. We decided to get a sense of what the big deal was all about. So from one end of the Dwarka Expressway on the Gurgaon side to where it actually enters the Mahipalpur region of Delhi, it has taken us exactly 20 minutes. Now that could be a game changer, but the fact of the matter is this. Just look at the traffic which merges onto this new road, because this is the same stretch of highway and there doesn't appear to be any way of avoiding that. So yes, there are quite clearly bottlenecks which do exist. The new stretch is fabulous. There are multiple lanes, there's an underpass, there's an overpass, all that is great. It will certainly save people a great deal of time. It'll help to decongest this stretch. But once you're here on the Delhi side, it's going to take as much time. So it took us 1 hour, 5 minutes from the start of the Dwarka Expressway in Gurgaon to get to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in the heart of Delhi. Now that at 3 p.m. in the afternoon or so is not exactly incredible. Yes, it is much better than if you were to take the normal highway. But quite frankly, there are larger questions which need to be asked. Can anything realistically be done to improve the condition of the national capital's roads? Are there simply too many cars? Can public transportation actually improve to an extent, to a point where people decide not to take their cars? These are larger questions. For now, does it help? Yes, it does. But once you get to Delhi, it's a straight bottleneck, as it's always been. With Aman Singh, Vishnu Show for NDTV.
Astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla, he met with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi at his official residence, 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, the Air Force officer who became the second Indian to travel to space and the first to board the International Space Station. He returned to India on Sunday after a year-long stay in the United States for training under the Axiom 4 mission. Shubhanshu Shukla interacted with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who urged him to record his experiences, including the training, research and his life in orbit, to help guide India's future space missions. That's all we have for you. Keep watching NDTV for more news and updates.